250 million years ago, the seas were repopulated by a multitude of new inhabitants. Among them, mollusks flourish fully, including belemnites and ammonites. The latter are present in greater numbers. Ammonites flourish and proliferate in waters that are 250 million years old. They are related to the class of cephalopods, which literally means feet in the head. Their feet are a kind of tentacles that surround their head. Several species of ammonites have been identified. They live rolled up in a spiral shell that is divided into chambers. Most of them are filled with gas or water to guarantee the buoyancy of the animal. To go down to the seabed, ammonites fill their lodges with water, and to go up to the surface they fill them with gas. The animal occupies the last compartment. Throughout their life, ammonites grow and build new lodges. These mollusks populate all the seas of the world, rather in the open waters than in the seabed. They present a great variety of size. Even if most of them measure a few centimeters or inches, some can reach up to 2 meters or 6 feet in diameter, the size of a tractor wheel. They are good swimmers. Alongside ammonites, belemnites have a very different shape, rather elongated, reminiscent of a javelin. Their head is provided with a beak and 2 prominent eyes. Their 10 tentacles have hooks and suction cups that allow them to catch their prey. Some species have a pocket of ink that they release to conceal their escape from predators. "15 million years later, small groups of archosaurian reptiles took over the ecological niches left vacant after the previous mass extinction. In the seas, hybodonts are found in large numbers. These fish were initially small, between 20 and 30 centimeters, or about 10 inches, and fed on tiny prey. A few million years later, they grew to a size of 3 meters, or 10 feet in length. Thanks to their great capacity to adapt to salt water, they diversified. They developed teeth, allowing them to tear and crush. The class of condycthrians, distant cousins of today's sharks, are at the top of the food chain. But in front of them, new marine inhabitants are trying to make a place for themselves underwater: the reptiles. Some families are more like aborted evolutionary attempts, like placodonts. These marine reptiles feed on hard prey, shellfish or crustaceans. At the beginning of their appearance, they resemble iguanas, only bigger, since they reach 1 to 2 meters in length. In order to protect their bodies, placodonts develop bony plates on their backs that resemble a carapace. At the end of their evolution, they look more like our current sea turtles. Their size allowed them to ward off the first predators, but over the years, new reptiles, larger and more ferocious, appeared, causing the disappearance of placodonts. Other reptiles, on the other hand, had a long and grandiose reign, such as the ichthyosaurs. These animals frequent the seas of the blue planet. The oldest ichthyosaurs resemble finned lizards, while the most recent ones resemble tuna, but their characteristics remain unique. Their leg bones have evolved into swimming paddles and are reminiscent of a corncob. Their vertebrae resemble an ice hockey puck, and their eyes are encircled by a bone called a sclera ring. When ichthyosaurs dive and swim, the water exerts pressure that can distort sensitive parts such as the eyes, so the sclerotic ring strengthens the eye and gives the animals highly developed eyesight for their size. Ichthyosaurs measure from 70 centimeters or 30 inches to 20 meters or 65 feet in length. They are fond of belemnites, fish, and other marine organisms. Like all living things, they need to breathe. Although their oxygen consumption is low, they have lungs and must regularly come to the surface of the water to breathe. Ichthyosaurs are viviparous. Their eggs are not laid, but incubate in the genital tract of the female until they hatch and release their young in the open sea. The latter have subsequently acquired the ability to regulate their temperature. Ichthyosaurs move by swimming in a particular way. They undulate their whole body like lizards, and can thus accelerate easily to hunt or flee. Their more recent representatives, which are more like tuna, only undulate the posterior part of their body. This evolution in their way of swimming generates an important modification of their living environment. If, at the beginning, they were confined to the continental shelf, from now on, they ply the great waters of the oceans. It is, moreover, a generalized evolution. The fragmentation of the Pangea generates a dispersion of the marine fauna, which colonizes the high sea.